Welcome to Turn the Page, the official podcast of the Syosset Public Library.
And welcome to the Syosset Public Library's podcast, Turn the Page. I'm Stacey with
Evelyn
and
Jill Santopolo,
who was our guest author today for reading / talking about the author writing life at the library today. So that was fun. Thank you for coming and thank you for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I love podcasts.
Yay. I love them too. I don't always listen to them, and I don't listen to this one because I hate hearing myself.
It always is weird. You don't sound like yourself to yourself.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, okay, I sound awkward. Let's listen to another episode. Because I don't do all of them. Usually we have Jessica, Barney, Sharon sometimes, and Megan Fangman. So we all switch off.
Nice.
But it's fun. We like it. So it's exciting. But speaking of, because you talked about hearing yourself, and I was just telling you how I listen to your audiobook.
Yes.
Do you listen to it when it's done? Do they send you any?
They send me the files. I have never listened to it all the way through, but I've listened to excerpts that they've put out for marketing or on social media or whatever, and I'll listen to a sentence here or there. And I recently wrote a piece about what it was like to record the audiobook for More Than Words.
Oh, wow.
And they had asked me to go through and pull out examples of the things I was talking about from the audiobook.
Oh, wow.
So I listened for those sections, but I haven't listened to it all the way through.
Okay, because I know I listened to it. I think Jackie listened to it or she read it. Do you know if she?
I'm not sure. I read both the books.
Okay,
I'm a big audiobook listener, but
do you listen to it at regular speed?
I don't listen like Jackie listens.
Okay, Jackie listens at double speed. Yeah. I listen at 1.5 usually.
I do 1.25
so it's faster.
at the most. Yeah,
but then people's voices much sounds like.
But yeah, when
she does
listens,
it, I
can't even
do
understand it.
Usually 1.5 is just it's. To me, it's as if I'm listening to someone talk, get very excited because you start talking really fast and you get really. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm into it.
But you can only do that on streaming or the Overdrive. You can't do it on the audio.
No, if it's a physical book, no. But
right.
Audible or Overdrive,
right, you could do it on that.
Audible, you could go up to 3 speed. I did that once. It was. I retained nothing of that book. So good thing I own it on there, so I could go back and listen to it at a normal speed. But that's exciting. But I think it's cool that you narrate your own audiobooks. So you chose to do that, or?
Well, so my agent had said to me, I really think you should read your own audiobooks. And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, you did theater when you were younger, which is true, all through, high school and college and a little bit after college. I did some theater. And she was like, I think you'd be good. You have a nice reading voice. So I said to the audio people, if you think I'm good enough, I'm happy to do it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But if you think my book would be better served with a different audiobook voiceover actress doing it, please just tell me, Jill, don't do this. I want to do what's best for the book. So they said, well, how about you send us an audition and we'll have the voiceover actresses send an audition and we'll decide which one we think is the choice we should go with. Ooh. And I said, okay, sure. So I recorded myself and I sent in an audition and they were like, oh, you actually are pretty good at this. Sure, you can do it. So I did it. We had a lot of fun.
How long does it take to record an audiobook?
I think it took us 3 days in the studio. I think the audiobook itself is somewhere between, it's around 8 hours, I think. But I think we probably recorded for 14 or something to get the 8 hours done. Wow. Because, if you trip on a word or if you stumble on something or if you pop your P too much, then you have to re-record, a chunk of it.
Okay. Well, we should mention Jill's books. The first one was The Light We Lost, and the newest one that just came out about a month ago is More Than Words.
Yes.
But she wrote children's and YA books before
true.
this.
Yeah, the Sparkle Spa sounds adorable.
Thank
Yeah.
I'm
you.
going to go look and see if we have it. I'm not sure if we do or not. But if we don't, I'm going to ask them to buy it because it sounds like a really good series.
I had a lot of
Yeah.
fun writing that. And
Are you done writing it?
so it ended at 10 books. They initially
Wow.
were like, can you do 4 books? And I said, sure. And they were like, how about 4 more? And I was like, sure. They were like, how about 2 more? I was like, oi, okay, great. So I had a lot of fun doing that series.
Yeah, I have a 10-year-old niece. I think it'll be great for her.
It's really cute. Would you go back to writing children's after this, or you're?
If I had an idea for a kid's book, I would absolutely be up for writing it. I think I just haven't been thinking in that vein right now. I've been thinking a lot in the adult book world, and that's sort of where my ideas have been.
I like that because I primarily read adult. I'll read kids and YA because there's some really great authors out there. But so what made you switch to go from writing all these kids and the YA, choose your own, to doing I'm gonna do an adult now?
So it wasn't something that I really anticipated doing. It sort of came out of a horrible breakup and me trying to exist in the world as a person with a broken heart. And as a writer, the only way I was really able to do that was by writing. So I was writing about this fictional woman, Lucy, who was also going through a breakup, and she had a different boyfriend and a different story, but we felt similarly about what was happening to us. So it's kind of, I guess, a fiction writer's way of journaling. And then once that sort of started, I had some friends who read it, and they were like, oh, you have to really turn this into a book. So I did that, and it was fun, and, you know, people responded well to it. So I kept going, and I wrote a second one, and now soon a third.
Okay, and The Light We Lost starts out at 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you at 9/11?
I was the same place that Lucy and Gabe were in The Light We Lost. I was at Columbia University in New York City.
Did you go up in the roof?
I did not. They're braver than I am.
Oh wow, I can only imagine that. I was in class.
Where were you, Evelyn?
I
Yeah.
was right in the shopping center, right up here.
Oh my God,
I
were
was-
you really?
Yeah, I brought my older one to nursery school. It was the very beginning of nursery school, September. And I was walking my little one in the stroller. And I walked into the bakery, which is no longer there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everybody's like, a plane just hit. And yeah.
Did they have like a TV in there?
They must have heard it on the
Oh,
news
like
or
radio or
something.
something.
Radio, maybe.
No, because
Yeah.
I
Social
remember
media wasn't big back then,
'cause
so
I was-
it wasn't
I
like...
don't think
No,
it
it wasn't,
existed.
but I was
So-
I was in middle school, and we walked into my classroom, and my teacher had because we had a TV in the room. He had the news going, and we're like, what? And then we had a lockdown drill, and I was like, what is happening? Then I freaked out because I was like, my dad's not home because my dad was working in the city at the time, and I'm like, what's happening? Because I was the first one home. I'm like, where is everyone?
Yeah, my
It must have
husband
been
was
scary.
working in the city.
Yeah, I was just like, okay,
He was in Midtown, so he wasn't affected by
yeah.
it.
That's
Yeah, that was a scary time, but it definitely brought people together,
Yeah.
as you
Oh,
did
yeah.
in the book.
Yeah, I think it's true. And what I found interesting is that I have other friends who I went to Columbia with who are writers, and that has made its way into all of our books in some way or another.
yeah.
And I think, you know, there are certain experiences that people have that just sort of shape them as humans. And I think that, you know, for me, that was one of them. But there are lots of other sort of person-shaping experiences that go into writing books.
And the second one, what was the experience that shaped that one?
Since we're already talking about sad things, when my father died, I think it sort of shifted my perspective. And I think that that's sort of what September 11th also shifted my perspective on the world. And I think that when perspectives shift like that, it gives you a different vantage point to tell a story because you're seeing things differently for, you know, the first time everything's new again.
That's true. Listening, I guess, because it was the audio I did for More Than Words. I like right after, because you go in starting the story, you know that Nina's dad, Joseph Gregory, is sick. And I was just like, oh my God, like immediately, like after getting through like the first part I was reading, I was like, gotta call my dad. Like,
Check
I was
on
like,
him.
Padre. But I mean, like, usually I talk to him like every day. That's our relationship. And I was just like, oh my God, like the relationship between Nina and her father, like in the first part, like they're each other's world. Was that the same for you and your dad?
My dad and I were really close. Nina and her dad only have each other, so I think their relationship was a little bit different. I have 2 sisters and a mom, so it wasn't like the 2 of us and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But so, my father and I were really close, and I counted on him for a lot of things and for a lot of advice. And I think a lot of the way that he lived his life and chose to live his life, I sort of consciously have made decisions that I feel like reflect that because I admired him a lot. And I think that's what happens in More Than Words too with Nina. Like, she thinks about the decisions her father made, some good and some bad, but like how she's going to live her life in response to that and sort of take the pieces of him that she really admires and incorporate them into who she is.
I like how she did. I just liked how the whole story and the flow of everything was. But I really like that even though she found out stuff about her family, like she still, because I feel like she had a very normal response of like, oh my God, I found this out about him. And like it kind of ruined this like image of the person she had on a pedestal and like relied her life upon, and then how she came to terms with it and grew with it. And I really like that she came into her own person at the end of the book. I was like, yay, Nina. I was really happy the scene where she's like shopping with her friend Pris. I was like, I know that store. I was just like, this is fun because even though it wasn't a breakup of like a romantic relationship, like sometimes you need to do something like that just to get there and like redo yourself to get over something. Like all I'm thinking is like if I read The Light We Lost, like it's like one of them is Lucy gonna get a haircut after this traumatic breakup like most girls would or have done? And then I'm like, as Nina's coming through, the changes of what happens with her dad and her relationships with people, she's like become the new Nina.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh. Then I was like, I really want like blue mascara. Not that
it looked good on you. You should
Thank
do
you.
it.
I was like, I'm
Sephora.
just like, that's fun.
She usually
like,
wears purple lipstick.
I do. I usually have I have multicolored lipstick. I love the different colors. I'm a huge like lip gloss snob. But I have to say, like, just because you talk about like her wealth and how she's part of this like different social circle, and I'm not that I've known anyone in that circle, like personally, but just I'm like, oh my God, she's like obnoxiously wealthy. She has, her apartment in the city, the apartment of her dad, the house upstate, the house in the Hamptons, like all this stuff. And I'm like, yet it doesn't come across that she's like Paris Hilton.
Not at all.
Like, it's not like, oh, like, look at, I just went shopping and spent like $5,000 on this little bag that
she wasn't a spoiled brat at
I
all.
like that she wasn't that. Like, I was like, oh, she's like a real person, like more relatable instead of being like, oh, well, yeah, I have all this. Like I was really entertained because that really hit me towards the end when she's with Raphael at her house in the Hamptons, like the museum type date that they're having. And he's like, whoa, like, okay, like you have a lot of money, more than like I really kind of thought. And she's like, I'm still me. I'm still this. And I was like, yay.
Yeah,
I was very happy with that.
I think that I was in trying to create Nina, I wanted to create someone who, while she lived in a world where money was important, she also understood what that meant. Whereas she understood the worth of it, and she understood that not everyone had what she had, and sort of reacted accordingly.
So did you have to do like a whole bunch of research into the type of people that live in that world? Like that go to galas every Friday and like donate thousands upon thousands of dollars in like auctions?
Well, I feel like we read about them in magazines all the time.
Because I'm just like thinking like, she's on the board of this, she's on the board of that. And I just keep thinking back to like Gossip Girl, the TV show, and like their extravagant lives. And I'm like, oh my God, like can't even imagine what I would do for, like any of that, or like taking on a head of a corporation. I'm like so out of my wheelhouse.
She totally could have been on Gossip Girl.
Yeah,
like that like could have been her. Yeah.
And then I really expected that to be like her friend Pris, and then I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, like I don't want to spoil any of the book for any like listeners of this podcast, but I was just like, okay, she's surrounded by good people. I like that. That's what people need.
Yeah. Yeah, she had good friends.
Yeah.
And I feel like writing female friendships is something I have a lot of fun doing.
there's so much you could do with that. I typically tend to, if I'm not like reading something like light and like pro female friendship, I'm reading about like the toxic friendships and like thrillers. Because I'll read a lot of thrillers.
Did you read The Lost Night? You should read The Lost Night.
I didn't. I do have the book though. And she follows me on Instagram, the author. And I was like, I don't know how you found me. Because I'm like, I don't really post a lot about books on my Instagram, despite the fact that my username has like my job title in it as librarian. I don't really post books. I'll post books on the work one on, a little plug-in for the Syosset Public Library Instagram. I'll post books on that. So if you, not recently, but I've done we tried to do like hashtag Beach Reads Wednesday. And because I live in Long Beach, I'll just take like 5 books onto the beach with me and be like, the waves. I'm like, screenshot something. Sometimes you'll see an appearance of my husband, like if I'm making him hold a book, or like you'll see like we're sitting on the beach. I'll do that, but I'm like, I'm surprised when like someone follows me and I'm like, I don't know why you like my content, but thank you. It's nice. I'll follow you back.
That's why.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, this is fun. I like watching like you guys like authors because you'll post like the bookshops or libraries you visit or like something cool behind the scenes, like at your publishing house. I've seen stuff of that. So I like that because I'm like, ooh, I like behind the scenes what's happening. Like, how do you decide this?
Yeah, I have fun on Instagram. I liked also doing book giveaways. Yesterday was my birthday, and I did a birthday giveaway.
Happy belated birthday!
Thank you. And then I always like asking people a question like the cost of admission to the contest or to the is that you have to answer a question. So the one yesterday was, what's your favorite way to spend your birthday? So it's like really fun to read through all of the people who respond and like talk about all the different ways that they like to spend their birthday. And some people were like, oh, I love reading on my birthday, or I love going to the beach, or I love going out for dinner.
So what did you do on your birthday yesterday?
Yeah, how did you end your birthday?
We went out to Robert, this restaurant in the Museum of Arts and Design.
Oh, my friend's the controller there.
Oh, that's so cool. It's a really fantastic restaurant, and it overlooks Columbus Circle.
Oh, wow. It's a nice area. Yeah,
that was a nice way to celebrate. And then I came here today.
Woo.
My other way to celebrate.
Coming to the library.
Now, you mentioned, we just had her in a discussion, and she mentioned her writers group.
Mm-hmm.
Who were some of the writers that are in your group? Are you allowed to mention them?
Sure. Marie Rutkowski. And she wrote The Winner's Crime and The Winner's Kiss and The Winner's Curse trilogy and a bunch of other books, too.
Okay.
And Elliot Schrafer, who writes the Rainforest books for middle graders, and also the Great Apes Quartet for older kids. I'm trying to think of what the 4 of them are. I don't know if I can list all 4, so I won't. But
okay.
He's great. Mariana Bear, who wrote the Inconceivable Life of Quinn, and some other books, and Anne Heltzel, who sometimes writes as Anna Collymore.
Okay. Very nice. It's nice to have peers that are writers. And
yeah, it's great. It really is great. And, we talk about the content, and we give each other feedback on our books. And we also, talk about like, what do you think of this cover? Do you like it? I want to make sure that everybody likes it, or just like anything, or, tips about what we've been doing on tour or whatever. So it's just nice to have a group that you can kind of talk about all that stuff with.
Did you have a national book tour for either one of these books?
Both of them.
Oh,
I had 2 book tours for The Light We Lost, one in hardcover, one in paperback. And then I just finished 2 weeks in February on tour for More Than Words.
Grueling?
No, fun.
Oh, good.
Super fun. I mean, busy. But, I just met so many incredible people who came out to talk about the books, which was really great. And one woman, it was amazing. She had the cover art of The Light We Lost tattooed on her forearm because she really loved the book, which I thought was just so amazing and like the biggest compliment any reader has ever given me.
Absolutely. Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
so permanent.
It's very nice covers.
It was really cool. Yeah, the covers,
Yeah.
I feel so lucky. I think Sani Chu is the cover designer at Putnam who made these, and she, I think, just did an incredible job. I love them.
You don't get to choose your covers, right? Or
No, I mean they show them to me, and like I
you have input?
have input, but they create them, and I think they're awesome. My input on the light we lost was initially Lucy was wearing a skirt, and I asked if she could wear jeans.
Oh, okay.
And on the More Than Words cover, initially Nina's hair was in a French twist, and I asked if she could have a bun. It's big feedback.
Okay.
Real big feedback.
I'm
You're
like
the
trying
one
to imagine what it would look like.
Well,
With
you're
a
the one who
French
invented the
twist.
characters, so you know
Yeah,
what it
you
is
know what they would wear
that they
or
should be
act.
wearing and looking like. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the cover's very nice, and I love the books, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you
I
so
like
much.
now want to see like that person's tattoo.
You
Did
can
you
see
take
it
a
on my
picture?
Instagram.
Yeah,
You have
I
it on
posted
Instagram?
it on my
Mine.
Instagram.
I was like,
I
that's
asked her
really cool
permission
'cause you
before
could
I could post
do,
it.
Like you could do, just the normal like black. You could do colors stuff. I like. I don't have any tattoos, but I like tattoo art. But I like when it's book related. Like one of my really good friends got a quote from. Oh, it's a YA book series that she really liked, and it's something about like. Everyone's afraid. It's okay to be afraid. Just be happy, or something like that. I have to find it, but I was just like, they're always so powerful. I mean, the most I see are always like Harry Potter ones, because everyone I know loves Harry Potter, and it's like, I have to get the always, or I have to get the. I can't even remember like the Deathly Hallows, and I'm like, okay. I was like, I don't want a tattoo because like I'll change my mind in like 2 days and be like,
It's very permanent, Stacey.
yeah, that's why I'm not getting one. My husband wants like 3. That's not going to happen.
What does he want?
He wants like a tree of life on one shoulder, and then he wants like a bear and a wolf on the other because he likes Norse mythology. Meanwhile, my mother-in-law is like, first of all, you're a Jewish boy. You're not doing that. And if I see it, I will like, it's
Gouge
coming
out
off.
your skin.
Like I will do that. But she's like, don't let him do this. And I'm like, don't worry. He's not. Just because he has no time to do it, and like he's seen no designs he likes. But if he wants them, it's his body. I'm not arguing. He'll probably have to like. I can't imagine the pain and how much time it'll take for shoulders, but I know it's a lot because I've been with a friend when she got a tattoo, and I was like, this is time consuming. I wish there was overdrive back in that day. There was nothing. I was just sitting on my phone like, oh, okay. Who can I text now? But that's a whole other story.
You didn't bring a book?
I didn't. It was an impromptu thing, and I was like, oh, this is happening. Okay. Otherwise, I would have had a book on me.
Don't we go everywhere with a book?
Yeah. If I don't, I have either physical audiobooks in the
Right.
car.
Always.
I have advanced reader copies or books from here that I'm reading. My whole entire little stand, it's not a stand, but it's kind of a nightstand by my couch. It's just books. And then I have like 4 books on my phone I'm reading as well.
My whole house is a bookshelf. The entire thing.
Yeah.
There's just books everywhere.
Because who doesn't love reading?
We just love reading.
It's fun. Are you reading anything right now that you love?
I just finished. Well, I didn't just finish, but I blurbed Daisy Jones and the Six, which just came out, which I loved. I also loved The Last Night, which I just read.
Oh, nice.
And I also loved Love You Hard by Abby Maslin, which is a memoir about when Abby's husband, who was young, I think 31 or 32, was mugged and beaten, and it caused him brain damage. And then the book is about how sort of he overcomes that and how their marriage and their love kind of gets stronger through that experience. And it's really, really powerful and really, really beautifully written.
Wow.
So I highly recommend it.
I think I downloaded that. I think I have that.
I'll find it.
Yeah, sounded. I like
Whether
this.
on Overdrive, physical book.
Right. I don't think it came out yet. I
Oh,
think it's
then
still-
No, it did. It came
Oh,
out
it is
last
out?
week.
Oh,
Okay.
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 It came out last
Now I
week,
can
I
find
think.
a real book.
So we'll find it.
Last week or the week before, but this month.
That's exciting. What about you, Evelyn? You're reading, listening to everything? No?
I'm not listening to anything at the moment. I'm waiting for.
Oh,
things
you're
to-
waiting for...
I'm waiting for Daisy Six
I know,
from you.
because I'm listening to it now.
But I did just start the new Lisa Scottolini book.
Oh, I
Somebody knows.
have that.
Well,
yeah.
I just started that one. The one I loved the most was Where the Crawdads Sing.
I haven't read that yet.
Absolutely
sorry.
phenomenal. Like one of the best books I have ever read. She's amazing. More Than Words. I just finished that recently, which was excellent.
Thank you.
By Jill Santopolo. And unless I have my Goodreads in front of me, I cannot remember everything I've just read.
I know. Yeah,
I
usually
draw a
have my
blank
list.
after I finish
No, but
it.
while you were doing like your author talk, I was like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna see because I like the audio so much, so I downloaded the Light We Lost audio. So I'm excited for that.
You'll love it. I loved it.
Everyone loves it. I'm glad. I like when people like books that I'm planning on reading because then I can talk about it.
It was a great story.
Thank you.
I really, really loved it.
Thank you very much.
And what you're working on now for your third adult book, you said it involved a woman, and then I read on your website like it has to do with mothers and daughters. That's cool. I get along with my mom, and I have a sister. So
Yeah, mothers, daughters, sisters, all in there.
I have two sisters, just like you.
Ah, what position are you?
I'm the oldest.
I am too, but I like to say that my middle sister took over the job as oldest because she got married and had kids first. So I'm functionally the middle now.
it's like it's just me and my older sister.
Yeah, my middle sister got married before me too, but only 4 months. So
That's nothing in the grand scheme.
yes,
Now, I have an older sister, and I am the youngest. And it's just us against our parents. I'd say us against the world, but that's not true. It's like she's busy. She has a kid. I don't, so we're in different worlds now. But it's fun. So, do you think that that book is going to be like... I'm trying to see like if More Than Words and Light We Lost were about like the same page count, word count.
Yeah, they'll be
Like
about.
you typically...
They'll be about the same. I think The Light We Lost is 77,000 words, and I think More Than Words is like 80,000 words. They're both pretty close.
Oh,
I think it'll be around there.
who counts the words?
My computer.
It's going to be like the word count on...
My
Wow.
computer
Word
knows.
Wow. Do they give you a standard of how many words you need to write?
I think my contract says around 80.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
But, I think it's give or take. I mean, I think if I gave them a book that was like, 125,000 words, they'd be like, whoa, what is this business? But I don't write that long. I know, like, there are some writers who just tend to write longer books. It's like the way they write. And I don't tend to write that long. Maybe because it's contemporary. If it were, fantasy,
Right.
maybe I would have to write long because of world building and all of that.
They're usually huge, those books.
But I think you need to, like,
because you have to
build the
describe all
whole
that.
world
Whole
and the whole
world, right.
society and the whole everything.
It's like,
where,
that's why I'm only on book 3 for Game of Thrones series. I was like, I gotta stop this right now. Those are huge. I can't get over them. Outlander too. That's another good series I like. But world building and time travel.
yeah, you need a lot in there.
Yeah. So your third book's gonna be contemporary like these?
Yeah, it's right now it's called Everything After.
Oh.
And it's about a woman named Emily and decisions that she made when she was in college kind of come back and threaten to destroy her life now.
Ooh.
I just made that sound a little more dramatic than it probably is, but she sort of has to contend with decisions that she made previously before she can heal what's going on in her present.
Okay. I like the sound of that. I like because I don't know if it was intentional or not, but like across from learning about the 3 books is that your characters are very relatable and go through stuff that doesn't matter what age or even what gender, like people go through these things. So I like that.
Yeah, that's sort of my goal. I hope that I write about things that feel universal enough that people can sort of relate to the characters or think about their own kinds of experiences, with love or with loss or with choices or with whatever it is, so that it seems like, the books make them kind of think about their own.
Yeah. That's exciting. We're looking forward to your third book.
And hopefully you'll come back and
Yeah,
see us again.
That would
you're
be
always welcome
lovely.
back for the
Thank
podcast
you.
and just for hanging out at Syosset Public Library.
Yeah, I heard you guys have a fireplace on
On
the
the second
we
second
do.
floor.
We
So
read
could
a
show it to
services
you.
desk,
We do
yeah.
a lot of fun stuff. Like there was a unicorn here earlier today.
really,
Yeah, it was
Did
fun.
you get pictures?
Yeah, there's photos and video on Instagram.
Oh, okay, good. We'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah,
So
we
were you the
like
unicorn?
doing it's an inflatable unicorn and it's me. I'm also the pink dino on our Instagram account, and we have a Pikachu as well, but that's not me. That's either Jessica or Natalie because they're short, so they fit in the costume better. Love you guys. But we just wanted to say thank you once again for coming to hang out with us and talk on our podcast. So we're going to close this chapter of Turn the Page. Say bye, Evelyn.
Oh, bye. Thank you, Jill, for coming.
thank you for having me.
It's time to close this chapter of Turn the Page. Join us for the next episode.